Hello, today I'll show you how to make a cannon in Scratch. As you can see, this is a cannon, and if you click or press space, it will explode out a cannonball. And when it touches the ground, it will explode. And if you launch one in the air and try to hit one like this, the one cannonball will explode and one will get launched farther, like that, which is really cool. So let's get started. First, paint a sprite and name it ground. Use the box tool and make it a brownish color. As you can see, a nice brownish color. Then use the line tool and make it a greenish color. And make the line thickness about 30. Now we select both of them, copy pastel it, put it there, and then drag it like this to create that little mountain thing. And if you want, you can change the dirt color a little darker. Now, when green flag is clicked, go to 0, 0, and go to back. So this will happen. Now, in the backdrops, use the box tool and make the fill a nice sky color. Something like this. Now paint another sprite and name it cannon. Use the box tool and make it a dark gray color. Then drag out a rectangle like this and make it a good size. Something like this and this. Now we put it in the middle, we don't select it, press shift, select it, don't use the selection tool, press shift and select it, and put it about where the middle point is there, and name the costume Cannon. Now we paint another sprite, this time using the circle tool, and make sure the fill is empty and the outline is a nice wooden grayish color. Something like that. And now we make it a nice thickness. And make sure it is a good size. Now use the line tool, press shift to draw a line like this and put it in the middle. Copy pastel it, rotate it by pressing shift, copy pastel, press shift 45 degrees, and now we have a wheel. So name it wheel and make the thickness nice. And also the size a good size. Now in here, in the code, when green flag is clicked, we make a new variable named clones for all sprites. Set clones to 0, and then drag the wheel to where you want the cannon to be, which is here, and go to that position. Now, point in direction 90 degrees and switch costume to wheel and create a clone of myself, and then switch back to the cannon. Now broadcast, point to mouse. Now when I start as a clone, we would change clones by 1, and then forever go to front and go to the ground sprite, and then do a go to cannon, drag it into the cannon, and now go to cannon, so it goes to the cannon. And now in here, forever, if, or, and then mouse down or key space pressed, and now if the clones is less, if not clones greater than 298, and then create a clone of myself and wait 0.25 seconds. Now when I receive point to mouse, forever point towards mouse pointer if costume number equals 1. So costume number equals 1. So only the cannon part will rotate. And if you want, you can move this a little back and make the wheel color a more saturated. Oop. And also less dark. Like that. Now paint a new sprite named Cannonball. Use the circle tool, make sure there is no outlines, and make it a really dark gray, and press shift and create a ball. Drag it to the cannon and make it a good size, something like that, or a little smaller if you want, and make sure it is in the middle. Now in the cannon, create a clone of Cannonball. Now in the Cannonball sprite, when green flag is clicked, go to cannon and then hide. And forever make a new sprite named Cannon Force for this sprite only, and set it to large readout. Put it about here, go to ground, use the text tool, make the fill white, and do any font you want, and type in Cannon Force. And make it slightly smaller and put it in here. Now you put this here. Now set Cannon Force, or before you do that, if else set Cannon Force 2, and then a greater than 60 if distance to mouse pointer is greater than 60. Set Cannon Force 2, we put a divide, then a round in here. Now the right side will be 6, and in here would be distance to mouse pointer. Else we set it to 10. Now in here, when I start as a clone, change clones by 1. Then switch costume to costume 1. Then show, go to Cannon, then point in direction, point in direction, then we do Cannon, direction, point in direction of Cannon, and then move 30 steps. Then we set. Now we make 3 new variables names gravity for this sprite only. And then we make another one named explode X for all sprites, and explode Y also for all sprites. Now set gravity to 0 and then repeat until touching ground or touching Cannonball, which we go to Cannon or any other sprite and then do touching Cannonball, put it in Cannonball, and then now we have the Cannonball. Now we change gravity by -1, set set cannon force to cannon force times 0.95 and move by cannon force. And change Y by gravity, and lastly, if on edge bounce. Now, when it touches, set ghost to 100. Set explode Y to its Y position. Set explode X to its X position, and set its explode Y to its Y position, like that. Now we do create a new block named create explode, or create explosion, explode, run without screen refresh. And in here we first do create explode and then change clones by -1 and delete this clone. Now in here repeat, pick random 30 to 50. And now we create a clone of, paint a new sprite and name it explode. And in this sprite we first create one called dust. Use the box tool and make it a grayish color. And now we drag out a box and make it a good size. We paint another one called fire, and we create a nice box, this time with a yellowish something like this. Now in the code, when green flag clicked, hide. Then when I start as a clone, we would do change clones by 1, go to its explode X and explode Y, and point in direction, pick random, -100 to 100, and then show. Then switch costume to a pick random 1 to 2 and duplicate it and put it in here. Now create a lot more variables. First one is explode force for the sprite only. Another one named spin for the sprite only. And lastly, Y for this sprite only. Now set Y to pick random 0.5 to 1.25, and set spin to pick random -2 to 2. And now if else costume number equals 2, then we will set explosion force to 5 to 20. Then we set size to pick random 40 to 110. Set brightness to pick random -10 to 10. And lastly, set ghost to pick random 5 to 10. Now in the other one, we duplicate it and put it in here. We set explode 5 to 25, 25. We do 80 to 150. Brightness will be -20 to 110. -20 to 10. And 10 to 40. Now repeat. Pick random 80 to 145. 80 to 145. Actually 120. And then if else, duplicate costume number equals 2, we would do set explode force to explode force times 0.82 and explode force, and move by explode force. Now change y by y divided by 3. And change color by negative 0.08. Duplicate this time the same but 0.86. Still this time divided, no dividing, and change ghost by 0.1. Make sure in Cannonball also create a clone of explode. Make sure this is switch costume and not background. So switch costume. And also in Cannonball, in here, instead of that round, we round everything, and this will be the divide. So this, and this. Now that will be smooth. Now in explode, we will turn by spin, then repeat 25 times. If else, costume number equals 2. We will still continue spinning, and also change y by y, and change ghost effect by 10. We duplicate this and change this by 4. Now lastly, we change clones by -1 and delete this clone. Now if you test it, launch a ball and explode, as you can see, you'll create a nice explosion effect. Now you have a cannon in Scratch. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day.